Isn't it interesting? Taylor's talked about this before. The significance of this word, he keeps using that word in association with priesthood and the word that is directly related to it.
Yeah.
So do you see any significance there that would help us understand as we get ready to launch into the oath and the covenant of the priesthood, the fact that those two are at the core of what we're talking about?
Yeah, and remember, when we say the order, the phrase that comes to me is the order of the Son of God. The holy priesthood after the order of the Son of God, or as we just read in that Joseph Smith translation, the Lord took the holy priesthood and the order. Priesthood is something that we enter into by a covenant relationship with God. And as we'll talk, this is for women and men. When we only talk of priesthood as these offices we hold, we miss the order. And I like to think of the word order almost like a pattern. Elder Robert E. Hale said, in the temple, we establish patterns of righteous living. And through the holy temple, we enter into this order of priests and priestesses that teach us a pattern of holy living so that we can come into the presence of God and receive His power. That is powerful.
That's amazing.
It's an order of living. It's a process. It's a sequence. It's a pattern. It's a way that people mold their life after Jesus Christ, who was the great high priest. That's what we're all trying to do as Latter-day Saints today, men and women.
I love it. So that whole process begins with an initiatory and this endowment of power, and you keep going back and you keep establishing, you keep repenting, you keep forgiving, and He keeps working with you. And sometimes we get so focused on our imperfection that we forget that He has infinite perfection to share with us as we progress in this order. Another way to describe this would be the Jacob's ladder, or the covenant path, or the straight and narrow path, or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints being in full fellowship. Lots of ways that you can describe what God is doing with men and women as they progress in this order.
And some of that progression, we can think of it as, instead of thinking of it like a corporate ladder, like offices that we climb, to think of it in terms of the order, like, am I receiving the order or ordinances of the Aaronic priesthood? Am I receiving the order or ordinances of the Melchizedek priesthood? Now, so baptism, the gift of the Holy Ghost, the endowment, which teaches us Aaronic and Melchizedek orders or ordinances. This is how priesthood becomes more inclusive of the entire church. And to put it concretely, too, back to what are we doing? And I would invite everybody to go look at the General Handbook of Instructions, section 27. That's extremely nerdy that I know this off the top of my head.
I was going to say, wow, that's amazing.
Section 27 on temple ordinances, the leaders of the church have given a great summary of the 5 major laws and covenants: obedience, sacrifice, the higher law of the gospel, chastity, consecration, and they give definitions of them. They're publicly for everybody. These are the kind of orders in the Holy Temple. When we go into there, the Lord is trying to teach us these patterns of righteous living to come into His presence and to gain His power. We're chaste people. We're consecrated people. We're obedient people. We're people who are willing to sacrifice for the Lord, so that it's not too abstract. So we see some concrete application.
That's beautiful.